You know, there are better ways to seek out our enemies than, well, standing here.
Hi. Okay. Just checking. I know no one's here yet. I mean,
I wonder what the rest
understandable.
of the
It is
Harbingers are up
Christmas
to.
Eve.
Plotting and
But
scheming on
I
an
just
ever
wanted to do
grander
this
scale,
sort
no
of the
doubt.
training wheels, if you will, for stream. And I will be providing commentary anyway, because I will upload the VOD, and the objective here is for you to be able to, I don't know, kind of watch along, see my interpretations of the lore, if that's something that you want. Let me apologize in advance though, because my stomach is grumbling a little. I have no control over it. I'm so sorry. That said, let me see. Yes, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful holiday and that you are all staying safe and enjoying it very much. Having a safe amount of sweets. Oh, my ping is not looking great. That's terrible. Why does my skill kind of the key, why does it look so green? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if anyone will be joining or not, but for the time being, I think we can go ahead and start the quest. I would appreciate some feedback on the audio though. I don't know if it's loud enough, like the dialogue audio, if it's not. Anyway, I'll trust that it's working. No, straight for a cutscene.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Hi there, I think someone just joined. Hi.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Oh, this man is from Inazuma. What is he doing here? From the dress style to the name.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
They're still researching the Tatarasuna. That's interesting.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
I think this dude shouldn't be a scholar. He should stick with light novels and I would approve of it.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that?
I know, right?
Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Still, let's go listen in. Yes,
Great!
please.
Let's go find out what this Tatarasuna mystery is all about.
Inversion of Genesis. That's I like that title. It reads like undoing. Genesis is creation, therefore it's some sort of
All right,
destruction.
I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper.
Kimono?
If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Well, you found her. If you're looking for the traveler, that's me,
Oh.
yeah.
You're the
Perfect
traveler,
timing.
you say?
What, he doesn't believe me?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
Yeah, let's go away.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
What evidence? Our appearance? Are you judging us?
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much,
Hi,
so
you're
our
someone
social
else.
skills are kinda
Welcome.
lacking.
Merry Christmas.
Traveler,
Yeah, same, bro.
I hear you've
I
helped
got no
many
social
people a
skills
great deal
whatsoever.
and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
I'm kind of rusty on that,
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
Ah, I see.
Sorry, I can't help this time.
My teacher chose this area
mean,
of
she helps
research
every
as a
time, so-
personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book
Oh,
I'm
he
writing
knows
about
something. He
Tatarasuna.
knows. We cut him off.
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade.
Wait, that's Kazuha's ancestor, right? I mean, not his is not the Kaidahara, but the Raiden Gokaden, I believe. I don't remember the names.
But in
I'm a
the
little
end,
rusty.
he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi.
Oh
Why?
no, that's
Well,
Scaramouche, like
No one knows.
his friend. I think Katsuragi was his friend, and then the other guy didn't accept him, if I'm not wrong.
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
Scaramouche. His head is definitely unusual.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabuki Mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kinda fishy to Paimon.
Well, if even Paimon can see it.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago.
400. Holy he is old. I mean, we knew he was old, but
Even back then,
I don't think we
Tatarasuna
had
was
any
already at the
real
center of
numbers.
Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
yeah.
Wait,
okay.
so there are two missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Yeah, the Raiden Gokaden.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art.
Hi, Frimoral. Hello. Sorry, my chat isn't quite working. I think there's a little bit of a delay. How are you doing?
Something then seems to have
I don't
happened
know
in
if
the
I pronounced your
Kaidahara
name
clan,
right. I'm so
leading to their
sorry.
downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
There's more? Yeah.
Oh,
indeed.
yes,
Keep
of
spinning
course.
it.
How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Yeah, I think he has a promising career as a
Get to the
storyteller
point,
as well.
for Pete's sake.
According to information
Pete's
acquired
sake.
by Akaba's teacher,
That's the
the
name of the
Kabuki
saying.
Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
They are making real-world references. I wonder who Pete is in this scenario. Yeah, that's Scaramouche. right?
Puppet?
The Shogun puppet that the Elector Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. Yeah, no, it isn't. The Kabuki Mono has to be the balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in Tetarasuna?
Aha!
We
Judging
did
by the
play
looks
through
on your
that with
faces, you
Kaidahara.
do
I mean,
know
we kinda
something
know that
after all.
already, don't we? Keep your mouth shut.
No, Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
mean,
I
it's a
agree,
puppet story.
it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Okay, that's a lot. Extract 1. A man arrived in Tarasuna around 3 in the afternoon. I'm sorry, my stomach keeps rumbling. I'm so sorry. From afar, he spied laborers walking along the mountain roads towards the factories, their shoes scuffing along the jutting stones. They walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from it gems beyond price. The mood that the sight inspired was ineffable, beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character stood off ahead. Taller greeted him with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. "Do my eyes deceive me?" said Miyazaki. "I cannot think that the return trip here from Inazuma City would have been easy for you." Miyazaki smiled like a young man taking the first steps on their journey, expression relaxed. Okay, this is straight up a book. This is not an essay. What are you doing? "Why, Katsuragi, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty Shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ships, strode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I have possibly faced? And what about the good news? There was some, naturally." The two burst into uproarious laughter, roughhousing with the other workers until the fast end. Holy shit, that's a lot. Oh, thank you, Primeral. I really appreciate it. Welcome abroad. Abroad, sorry, I can speak today. A young man dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf gazed into the dancing flames of the furnace before him. That's Scaramouche's friend, right? We see him wearing a headscarf. Now, the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too then was the Flame Watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, was on his face, and on his face he wore a smile. Sorry, I got lost. The workshop was huge, and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think that there should have been many working alongside the Watcher, yet he stood alone. Only when Katsuragi and Miyazaki strode into the room did the Watcher turn. This Watcher was Niwa, armory officer and administrator of Tatarasuna, born to the Niwa clan, which served as one of the 3 pillars of the Ishin art. Niwa never argued with his siblings and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Miyazaki handed a well-bundled text to Niwa as he adjusted his expression. It said, "Is that a typo?" "Shouldn't it be?" he said. "It is as you have said, sir. The elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of our plan. yet I still believe it to be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested. Niwa studied the text and nodded. You should try some of these new forging techniques, whether Kaedehara says yeah or nay. Katsuragi frowned, and with a sigh he said, Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs, and still you seek improvement each day with terrifying drive. And should my lord Nagamasa hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss. That's a lot. What? There's more! There's an extract too! Holy. Niwa smiled, replying, And how goes the forging of our lord's great plate, Katsuragi? I think this is the one Raiden commissioned then. The one that brought about the end of the Raiden Gokaden. Katsuragi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his two friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so browsed. I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes of us unlearned men are as nothing before you. Miyazaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsuragi's palm. But just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking nearby, their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. The head that peeked in was round and, in the light of the fires, looked like an oiled jewel. Could it be Scaramouche? The young man placed some boxed food at the side, and nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsuragi got lost. Katsuragi called out after him. What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it? The young man, upon hearing those words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while, he answered, Very well, I'll try it. You are welcome to the food. We all eat at the same fare, after all, Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Oh my god, there's a lot of text. Sheesh! Extract 2. The Kabuki Mono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight showed themselves not, but for in their place did thunderclouds roil, grumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk bade the clouds to kneel upon the land. Its supplication mirrored the Kabuki Mono, with knees bent and face pointed towards the waters. None passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in silence. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Kabuki Mono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. What? Though he was not aware at first, after his steadying gaze was refined by time, he understood. This cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, the fishing boat drew near, the lights of its bow flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. A mist spooled across the area, stealing sight from the fishermen. Repeatedly he exclaimed, It is but dusk! How are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon safe tides? Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat, and was joined in its bereftness of direction. Like a charging beast, they plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away. There's more! Oh my god! The Kabuki Mono stood idle, slanting his head to study the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of the one who had cried Jesus, had cried out for help, and with a plop, it landed at the Kabuki Mono's feet. Oh, that's graphic. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the earth to take a bite out of... I'm sorry, what is this? To take a bite out of it. Yet he did not, for the dark cloud swirling down had already picked the remnants of the ship clean. The Kabuki Mono stared at it blankly, like an awakening dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by the storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabuki Mono. I'm sorry, did you just say you wanted to eat the arm? What is going on? That's Scaramouche, right? Extract 3. Katsuragi rushed to the doorway and shouted, My lord, things go ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niwa, but there is no trace of him, and much time has passed since Sir Miyazaki left to seek aid, but he has yet to send us any missive. Look! Mikoshi Nagamasa turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. It spoke then, his words heavy laden. I wish not to say such words, Katsuragi, but Sir Miyazaki may never return. Katsuragi peered into Nagamasa's broad, steep shoulders beyond the windows. The clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather, and might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tatarasuna whole. Over 10 people had already perished. That was why. Why? Katsuragi recoiled as if struck. Yes, It was coming back to him now, in dribs and drabs. That was why they had set out to seek aid. Miyazaki had been the first to set sail. The clouds had only just begun to form then. Traveling from Tatarasuna to Inazuma to ask for support was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. You forgot why you had asked for help? I'm a little bit confused, not gonna lie. Where am I? Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third, and a fourth, till the Kabuki Mono himself had departed upon the tides, under foul skies and ominous fortunes. It had been Katsuragi who had brought him back and treated him as his own, and it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in Tarasuna was severed, even though even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone, and none could find him. Afterward, Nagamasa led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, all to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned to suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew ever more suspicious, and Nagamasa himself strained against his discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. And there's more, oh my god. Suddenly a figure flashed by. Their presence did not go unnoticed by Nagamasa. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil in through the war. Scaramouche? For a moment they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagamasa, laughing darkly. Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps. Nagamasa bellowed in fury. You dare address Sir Niwa directly! Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach but not beyond sight. No, that can't be Anne. A ghastly apparition indeed. Was it you who slew my people? Nagamasa howled and charged, held back only by Katsuragi's desperate creep. As his senses returned to him, he realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems that the rest of this work remains unfinished. From the existing text, however, it is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities, indeed, born from an imagination well utilized. I'm a little confused. I think the dark cloud is meant to represent. I actually don't know. I think I'm getting the Tatarasuna mixed up with the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is the remnants of Orobashi. But Tatarasuna is a
please
land.
read my essay draft as well.
No. This is... Oh my god, I'm stumbling over my words. Can you please stop giving me stuff to read? A brief analysis of possible events of historical importance in the Tatarasuna area. Details. This text belongs to a series of works sponsored by the Vahumana's Veilcutter project. Veilcutter? It has yet to be numbered. Author, Akava. Abstract. Oh my god, no, this is what I have to do for school. Like, articles. I don't like the memories. The Tatarasuna area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithing industry. 2 incidents have occurred here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, that there might a hidden history, oh that's a typo, behind the events that transpired. Hence, this paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. Glossary, Tatarasuna area, Raiden Gokaden, Mikoshi Nagamasa, Kabukimono. Yeah, it's Raiden Gokaden. Introduction. This paper continues and expands the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi, and his report on the happily hidden tales of Tatarasuna, and is intended to further this avenue of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electro Archon, also known as the Raiden Shogun. Using the arts they inherited from their Archon, the people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of metalwork yet linger about Tatarasuna, which was a central pillar of the forging industry. There, the Mikoshi Niwa clans, along with an eccentric puppet, serve as the 3 windows of insight we have to investigate the truth behind what happened. I'm sorry, let me just take a sip of water. Oh my god, this is a lot of text. I was not expecting that. Body. Strange notes from the Tatarasuna area. Their contents are as follows. 1. Perhaps I overstep, but I think that Sir Nagamasa's mood grows better when he forges blades. The obsession to cleanse the stain of the name Mikoshi must eat at him. Also, Sir Katsuragi discovered a nameless eccentric while patrolling around Nazuchi Beach. Okay, so that's Scaramouche. That's when he found him. 2. The inspector bought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Ingots? Ingots, I think. Sir Katsuragi discussed matters of smithing deep into the night with the vice armory officer. 3. We at last made a single nagamaki. What's that? We call it a Daitatara Nagamasa. The inspector was in high spirits, and he and the vice armory officer Nozomo was taken by the beauty of the Daitatara Nagamasa, and he drew a picture of it. And he performed a sword dance with that wandering eccentric. Okay. So why is he not a sword wielder? Why does he use a catalyst? I want to know, because the lore, everything about his lore points towards him being a sword user. It's kind of weird. And we could not find that eccentric. The inspector flew into rage and slashed Katsuragi. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own Nagamaki into the furnace flame. Cast his own Nagamaki. I still don't know what it is. Did he die though? Nozomu could not abide by that order, and drew the completely melted weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. Nozomu died that night. I dare say that while Sir Katsuragi may have committed malfeasance, it was out of the goodness of his heart. Kinjiro hid the Nagamaki, and Nozomu's drawing in the arsenal. Nagamasha is harsh, but also knows right from wrong, and even so, he is not amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, I and some households of Tatarasuna have not been blinded by the matter of Nagamasa's mother Shio, and we trust him. That's a lot of names just dump on us. Oh my god. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creating the Yes, that's exactly what it says. The Daitatara Nagamasa with him. And that joy of watching that nameless eccentric perform that sword dance with Katsuragi. 7. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts, one for the inspector, one for the armory officer, and one to be left in Tatarasuna itself to prevent theft. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the armory officer could be found, so I was so bold as to hide the 3 pieces within treasure chests in Tatarasuna. Those should actually be there. There are notes scattered, but I don't remember if I ever explored that area, so I don't know if I have them. The 7 notes mentioned prior have been scattered across the Tatarasuna area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, though they all look quite old, while the last one looks more recent. I believe that the first 6 notes and the last are of different time periods, though the gulf in years between them needs to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to each other, as the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another. Rumi once mentioned in Happily Hidden Tales of Tatarasuna, hereafter known as Hidden Tales, that in the past researchers from Sumeru had investigated the cultural histories of Tatarasuna and Inazuma. Though the place has fallen into some degree of disrepair since the Hidden Tales were written, things have improved since the time when I wrote my original article. Regardless, what used to be an area of major industry remains a place most inhospitable. Any residents of Tatarasuna may be found living and dwelling by the waters. The residents, when questioned, told the researchers of Tatarasuna's golden age centuries ago, when it was administered by Armory Officer Niwa, Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki, and Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa. Yet, the others among the locals with deeper ties to the region also seemed to stress the fact that there were strange rumors surrounding their homeland's past. A great many of these rumors— oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, this is so much text. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A small portion, however, repeatedly mentions the word puppet. Okay, he's not a yokai though. It should be known that puppets are neither traditional nor common yokai in Inazuma. Yeah. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A puppet did once appear in Tatarasuna. Its visage was elegant, its apparel impeccable, and the way it dressed hid all the joint lines on its body. So he does have joint lines? I'm sorry. Really? I mean, he does wear shorts. I never noticed, but I think his knees look normal. If no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would be hard to tell at all. Additionally, this puppet seemed to possess special joint lines that would fade with time. Oh. Potentially even disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human. The name of the puppet was known to almost none. Some folk claimed to have spotted it appearing around Tatarasuna, while others mentioned encountering it in the central regions of the area. Some even claimed that it would frequent the beach. Tales spread of it standing beside the sea and gazing across the waters towards Inazuma City. what it was that the puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. As mentioned earlier, the 6 notes all document a certain nameless eccentric, the eccentric, which can also be read as kabukimono. It is usually used in Inazuma to refer to a figure who dresses or behaves in a peculiar manner. It is understandable, therefore, that this character would have left such an impression, should the people of Tatarasuna indeed have had a puppet in their midst, incurring mass panic, a good possibility considering the coexistence between yokai and humans in Inazuma at large. Then the puppet would have very likely become a local president. What is less well known is if the Kabukimono was just another title for this puppet. Sorry, gotta drink water again. Holy shit, this is a lot. What I really, really liked about the Sumeru Archon quest was that it didn't show. It showed us instead of telling us. Show, don't tell. It wasn't dry, that didn't have a lot of names thrown on us. This feels a lot like in Kanomiya. Honestly, I still don't know what went down in there. If there's a piece of lore that I really don't like, it's in Kanomiya's. And not because it's not interesting, because it really is. But the way it was handled is just a lot of names just thrown at you. This is a lot. This doesn't feel like playing a game. This feels like doing homework. What am I? And the puppet would have very likely... Okay. Perhaps because it was uniquely addressed to distract attention from its more special characteristics. A workable theory, but one that still lacks enough evidence to support it. Still, it can be retained as an analytical lens of sorts. A list of individuals related to Tarasuna has been compiled here based on historical documents from Inazuma. Starting from the administrators, the records are as follows. Armory Officer Niwa. Full name Niwa Isahide. He was inheritor of the Hishin Heart and successor to the Niwa clan. His family, along with the Akame and Kaedehara clans, were together known as the Hishin Sansako. Records show that Niwa was a modest and intelligent individual who displayed a remarkable talent in administration of territory and people. His eventual whereabouts are unknown, but it was suspected to have left Tarasuna with his family following the incident. Okay, so this guy's alive. So I still don't know which one is Kazua's friend though. Not Kazua, Scaramouche. Vice Armory Officer Miyazaki. Full name Miyazaki Kaneo. He was Niwa's second in command. His origins are unknown, and he primarily assisted Niwa in forging and personal management. He was of affable temperament and had many friends in the region, including one Mikoshi Nagamasa. Inspector Mikoshi Nagamasa, the successor of the Mikoshi clan, adopted son to the Oni warrior Mikoshi Shio. I think he's human. He's adopted. So there were yokai in the Raiden Gokaden? And the younger adopted brother to Mikoshi Mishihiro, also known as Iwakura, the successor. With his mother missing and abandoned by his brother, Nagamasa alone bore the family name, striving daily to wipe the shame from their history. The records state that Mikoshi Nagamasa was a stubborn figure. He was also noted to be a person of moral virtue and integrity. It has been noted in various records that he practiced forging swords for self-cultivation and especially requested special instruction from Miyazaki to further his capabilities. However, after the famous blade Deitatara Nagamasa was forged, he used it to slay a subordinate, Katsuragi. Oh, so he did die. Holy. For reasons unknown at present. Subordinate, Katsuragi. Katsuragi's full name and background remain unknown, despite of the materials I've sorted through. I have yet to find any more additional personal information regarding him. As one of Mikoshi Nagamasa's subordinates, he was a loyal warrior who had been saved by Nagamasa in his youth. From then on, he swore to stick by his lord through thick and thin and give his life in a service if it was but asked of him. Please tell me it's over. Oh my god, yes. Kabukimono, full name unknown, background unknown. From the many sources I have compiled combined with Rumi's personal observations, this character might have been the puppet mentioned in the rumors. The Kabukimono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentleness. Oh, gentle, you say. According to the hidden tales, he was brought back to Tatarasuna by Katsuragi and became a member of the community. When the Kabukimono first arrived in Tatarasuna, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or any work of meticulous nature. The locals taught him their skills over time, showing him how to clean his attire, dance, and craft small trinkets. Records state that the Kabukimono was there when the Deitatara Nagamasa was forged. I still need to know what that is, though. It's a blade. It's the blade that basically ruined the Raiden Gokaden, right? I think so, but what's wrong with the blade? The Australians before Mikoshi Nagamasa slew Katsuragi. I believe that the Kabukimon was indeed the aforementioned puppet and that he quite literally had a hand in Katsuragi's death. It seems that the rest of this paper remains unfinished. One thing is for sure though, a lot of thought was put into it. Holy, please tell me
Sawada
that's all.
was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it.
Okay, but you still didn't explain
How
anything.
about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Are you a scholar? Or are you a fanfic writer? What is going on?
You want to just make stuff up?
No, it's not.
Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Exactly. Paimon is right, see? Yeah, sounds more like a novel. Has this guy ever written an essay before? I don't think so.
Look, your
My
teacher
teachers
has
would fail
researched
me
this
for that.
extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
Leave me to it.
We have some
We
other
just
stuff to
meet
do,
up
so
in
we'll
Nahida,
have to say
please.
goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay.
All right, thank you. If you find
Essay
out any more
in air
info about all
quotes.
this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I don't really feel like doing it. Not if I have to read all of that again.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked
Yeah,
his
he's
butt
kind of
and got him
secret right
locked
now.
up.
Nahida is
Information about
is
people
hiding
like
him.
that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
Oh. He's up and about.
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
Okay, it doesn't have godly powers anymore. That's
Balladeer!
actually him,
No,
right?
it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Come back here. Charles has been on a wild goose hunt this entire time. He's finally gonna catch up to him. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, it's not here. Where did it go?
Traveler, Paimon, there you are.
Yes.
Nahida, bad news.
Did tell
We
us
just saw
about
the
this.
balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
Oh, so he is here. Oh gosh.
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey, what are you doing in
Thanks,
the
Captain
sanctuary
Obvious.
of Sarasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up?
I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to get to. You tell me more about the Irminsul. I still have so many
deal?
questions, honestly.
Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumero would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
We're not like you.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Oh, he's asking for it.
Well,
Little
that
bastard.
escalated
That's
quickly.
affectionate though.
Not a good
I
start.
do like him. I do.
Could
I
I
didn't
ask
used
you all
to,
to
but
please calm down?
he grew on me.
But
And he
Paimon's
asked
worried
very
about you,
nicely, so
Nikita.
we'll do so.
Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us!
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
I mean, is that a reason to trust her though?
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time.
Yes, to tell us. Honestly, I don't know why she's withholding information from us. She's the only Archon who's been, like, really honest with us and told us everything. And then, she knows... I don't know if she knows more about the Descenders, but she knows more about the truth of this world. And so does Scaramouche. Like,
The Balladeer's power was all but
Open up.
completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore?
I mean, he kind of just took off in Inazuma.
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser.
Oh,
so...
okay. She just straight up called him a loser. So he tossed you out like trash. Okay, that's actually kind of sad. He's used to
Sometimes it's
that.
you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui. And also between each of the
stable one?
Harbingers.
Oh my god. It doesn't have any reference points for an actual healthy relationship. I'm actually feeling kind of sad for the little dude.
So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Really? What a crying shame. You are not feeling sorry. You are just being rude.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Oh, he's bitter.
Yeah,
Just a fighter.
obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him!
Then let's
No,
put that
Paimon.
discussion to the
That's the
side
one
for
where I
now.
come to be.
We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you serious about this?
What did
Yes.
they agree on, though?
I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
Okay, so information about
Yes.
our brother, please.
As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Okay, that's what we really need to
Actually,
know.
that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point.
I know. I made like 2 whole theories about it, and I still have so many questions. It could go so many ways.
It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am.
The real question is how? How do they do that? I mean, I know they have a super big intelligence network, but if it's not, Nahida has direct access to the Irminsul, right? So if they know stuff that she doesn't, then it mustn't be in the Irminsul. What kind of ties do they really have?
He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect.
Oh, that's interesting.
The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
What if he lies to you?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
To be fair, Paimon, you don't trust a lot of people, you know?
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns.
No, that's sad.
As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you.
Oh. I can't. I can't. Like, just take the best Arcan. She deserves the title of best Arcan. She's so cute.
If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Oh.
It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Speaking of Sumeru's hero, she did call us the first sage of Lure, and I know, like, we have a title in every other nation. And it might be just that, but I wonder if there's any more hidden meaning behind all of that. Because it's not like being called the honorary knight or the hero, it's just, I don't know. She's very much associated with knowledge, and calling her the sage, it's interesting.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Thank you.
That's another thing,
Prepare
like the top
yourselves.
3
I'm going to
Harbingers are
transport you
supposedly the
into
strongest
Irminsul.
gods. And I don't know. Like, what's the definition of a god, you know? Because there's a lot of different gods. The Adepti are considered gods by some. So where do you draw the line? And what gives them their power?
Wow, it looks pretty
you're
different
back.
here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
It's really pretty though. Like, it's one of those places that you can only visit in quests, but that's actually a shame. It'd just be nice if we could take photos and everything here with other characters.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
He just sent me to babysit you. Oh god.
Shut your beak,
They are
Gilbert.
so bitter,
No
the
way
both
a
of
prisoner
them.
gets to be so smug.
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
No, we are your parole officers.
Sounds like
You
a
cannot shake
successful
us off.
rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike
So
anywhere
this is
else,
physically located in
Irminsul's
Sumeru?
inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information.
I mean, it makes
You
sense.
must
The reason
put
the mains
aside
are
your
physical.
differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Understood. Yes, ma'am.
Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
Oh, you think my eyes are free?
You sure are confident.
What kind of
Paimon will give
obstacles
you
though?
that.
What's up
You
in
make
there?
it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Oh god.
Ew!
We just keep roasting each other.
The snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
Focus on doing your job. Carry on.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is the
Can't look
inside
around.
of Irminsul. Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels
You know
like a
what?
sacred place.
The Irminsul, when seen from the outside, reminds me of the imaginary tree from Honkai. I think it looks pretty similar, but this one, in a way, it's kind of an opposite. The other has a lot of warm colors. This one is blue. I'm more interested. Those sort of motherships. Motherboards, not motherships. I'm sorry. Those are for aliens or something. It looks very technological. It doesn't look biological at all, and I wonder why.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Oh, he's actually taking orders. That's surprising. That's surprising.
Permission
He
granted.
didn't take anything
ahead.
with Batui, apparently. According
Let's
to his
go.
lore, he just found them
Stay
amusing and
close.
tried to stick
Don't
around.
go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen?
That
What
doesn't
are you
sound good.
smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
Oh, it's one of those we just have to walk. Oh, it's annoying. There goes one of the symbols, though. What does it? Can we interact with it?
These sapling
Oh.
things have spread out.
The fragments. I didn't have
Those are
time
all
to read.
packets of
Slow down.
information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Oh, that's exactly what I want to do, though. The locations change. Look like. Oh, seriously? I hate when they do that. Sorry. My stomach is grumbling so much. I'm so sorry. Also,
It looks
hi.
the
I
same in
know
every
there are people
direction.
coming in and out of the stream, but if you haven't been here before, hi! How are you doing? Merry Christmas for all of you, and thank you for dropping by.
No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
Give him an ugly nickname.
There's a time
Go
and a
on.
place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
This is the center of Vermincell. All information in the world is flowing through it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The
What is she
Balladeer's
talking about?
actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
He hasn't put up any resistance, and he seems good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui. I doubt it. First, Akaba, or that's not how you pronounce it, I'm sorry. And so what the stories. Now this. What a strange individual.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Yeah, that's the first for sure.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Behind his back? Oh. She does have traits up her sleeve. Nahida, is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
I'm guessing that you don't want us to disturb the Balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Like in each other's heads? I mean, that's pretty unusual for
Paimon's
friends.
never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is it about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
I mean, that's what everyone's been hinting at. Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into a page at Party's the Eye. I realized what he saw in the Balladeer's mind while in Party's the Eye.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Ah, so now you're feeling sorry
Everyone
for him.
has a history,
Paimon does have
Paimon.
a very big arc.
Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Dude, please eliminate
Really?
us.
Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
You tell Nahida about the story Akaba and Sawada are writing.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
Really?
So the Gese got it right?
Yes.
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having.
Oh, he knows.
Funny
He
how all
knows.
the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
We have every right to keep certain things confidential while we are talking behind his
Of
back.
course
quite
you
literally.
do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing
You
on
and
either
your
of you in
twin.
Irminsul at all.
And your twin? Like, both of us?
Wait, how did you know about that? Didn't Ahita tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
Every conversation with you is hard work, but your attitude is better than I thought. True.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
You found something.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Yeah, it's your friends from the past. How is it anonymous, though? They do belong to Tevat. That name, Niwa was the man in charge of Tatarasuna. Plus, he belongs to the lineage of Pigeon Heart.
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now.
Who are
You
we
have
now?
shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose, they are motivated.
So this is Niwa.
As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to
Hold
find
on
their
a
purpose
minute.
between steel and blade.
Isn't
That
this
is
Fontaine
why
attire?
you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging.
You flatter
Oops,
me.
skips a little
From the
too soon.
outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
Yeah, sure. That's not a name that has come up before.
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
Oh, that's not a genuine smile at all.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all,
but he
Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
Yeah, he
Are
is
you
from
sure you're not a
Japan.
little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Just a look in his eyes? Are you kidding
Drop
me?
the
Are you
act.
not listening?
We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Oh, dang.
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
He's the one who killed Niwa, but the documents didn't mention his name.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for.
Who is this dude?
I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all.
Oh god.
And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Okay, I did not see that coming.
If you kill
Holy
me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
I did not see that coming. Is this when Scaramouche joined the Fatui? I don't know who introduced him. Oh god, I can't even speak.
Oh, but you're quite
Holy.
wrong. There is one other person.
Okay, I was not expecting
Some may
this.
not see him as a person, but you told him yourself.
Oh, there we
You're
go.
not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance.
Oh god, I love how it
This
says
is
that.
all
Like, it's no
part of a
trouble at all. Like, you
carefully
just got someone a
controlled
gift. Oh my god. This man is deranged.
If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
Okay, this is actually really interesting because this supposedly happened like 4 centuries ago. So the Fatui have been established for a very long time, and we have had harbingers for a very long time. That's very interesting. I don't know. I think I assumed
The Fatui?
there were some really old harbingers, but they
What do you
were rather
want?
recent.
Just to create a
100 years.
minor inconvenience for your
So the
nation.
Tsaritsa might have set her plans after the cataclysm. Okay, that's interesting. Something to look into.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet.
Oh god. Is he possessed?
Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
Well, not everybody is a degenerate like you. Oh, that's pitiful.
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Niwa, but I don't think he's going to pass on your message.
He has
That's not what he wanted. Well,
to prove to anyone.
Wants to corrupt
Because
Scaramouche.
not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
Are you kidding me? You kill him and it's just like, oh, what a pity. People die when you stab them. What a surprise.
Jester, I have
What is
completed the
that? Is that
task
some
you
sort
gave
of
me.
Oh, Jester.
Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was.
Is this some sort of plan by Piero to just recruit Scaramouche? Why control
I'd like
that
to
trouble?
introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful,
Okay,
let's
it's
make him
not.
our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Oh god, that's heavy. Is he crying?
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore!
Okay, it's a little bit messed up as well.
Good. Good.
Was
I
that
love his voice actor though.
the
Sounds so
doctor?
good.
Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
I'm afraid so. He was the one behind the Tarasune incident.
But why did we see things from his perspective?
No, we saw things through his perspective until some point in the story, and then it just shifted to third person. That's
When
a
I touched
weird
the
way
doctor
to keep
to confirm
records.
whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
His betrayal was a lie that he has believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the doctor's experiments? If the betrayal never happened, it existed only in his imagination. But where does this leave him? Well, everything he
give him
believed was a
some
lie,
space.
that's tough.
He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Okay, let's go
We
over
need
there.
to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as the mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future.
What fruit, though? Because I still don't understand what exactly his end goal was.
Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke.
So, I understand that the Gnosis can power him and act as a sort of heart, but
The
an
balladeer
actual
was
heart can
stunned
do the
that such
same?
unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Okay, so he never actually put it in his chest.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Yeah, you can say that again. Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokaden 100 years ago. But it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't
Only
have
if he
a heart.
understands this
Does it have a
can he
moral
choose a new
compass?
path forward.
Oh, we got a little
Totoro, you
achievement.
brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Hi Silvers, Merry Christmas! I hope you are having an awesome day. Welcome for stopping by. Welcome, no, sorry. Thank you for stopping by. I can't speak anymore. So sorry.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright?
I'm actually a little nervous, not gonna lie. Like, I know there's people coming and going. So I know I'm not by myself, I'm not just recording a video, I'm a little nervous. It's the first experience. It's okay. We'll learn along the way.
That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
We just want to make sure this doesn't affect the plan.
It won't.
Don't lie. You
I'll
do,
keep my
you
end
do
of the
carry
deal.
it down.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
I mean, that's to be expected, right?
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
I mean, supposedly the twin is part of Tevat, so... Not unexpected, but still, thank you.
Don't thank
I
me
mean,
just yet.
I think you are ignoring the elephant in the room here. Nahida did tell us that they are part of Tevat.
You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Oh, he's being generous.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world.
Okay, so he came from another world along with the Traveler,
Plus,
and then moved
he
there.
only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heaven... Hold on.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
Who's a royal mage?
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this.
Okay, but I want more.
Did
Is
you
that all
get
you
all
know?
that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Okay, a mage. Right, they do have magic. The Enslave uses some sort of magic that is not elemental. Could that possibly have messed up our brothers, well, our twins?
Does this info
Nature?
count towards my
I
mission?
don't know.
It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
I mean, yeah.
Very valuable.
Oh, that little smile. That's actually really cute.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Yeah, I need to process a lot. What the?
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right.
Forget the cute
My
smile.
power's all but completely
Forget the
spent.
cute-
Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What do you want to
Give
know?
me your hand.
Okay. That's a little forward of you.
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Yep. Are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
I mean, technically, Makoto kinda did that. And there's this setup. Wait, why would you ask that?
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me.
Liar. Wait, that look. Did you see me hesitate? But that was because I know about Greater Lord Rukadavada. I mean, technically the past wasn't changed, just people's recollections of it. She still existed, there's just no records of it. Oh, I think...
So
Oh,
long.
no, I didn't click
I
it twice,
suggest you
come
get
on.
yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Belvedere, stop! It's
Fast
Captain
reaction
Paimon, hurry
time.
up.
But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
Oh, Genesis inversion is trying to destroy himself.
From this
Well,
day forth,
that's a
the
little
names
edgy.
Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Oh, this actually... He does have a conscience.
Hey,
He does.
Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of
Angie.
harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Now hang on, I really don't think that's how this works, you know?
Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. Oh no, he's really gone.
Well, he didn't even try
Can you
hard.
hear me?
Yes, he
Nahida!
can.
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
It's on the hit everything that happened.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
Alright, this doesn't sound good. If we need to leave, it's probably really unstable.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
Again, I wonder where the Irminsul is.
This is an
You can see
emergency.
it in open sky.
I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
No, I want to help you.
I'm
like,
sorry,
we are always
but
just in there.
This
A
isn't
fraction,
something I need
Nahida.
your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
See, this
voice
is
is
why
gone.
she's the MVP. The other Archon just push their problems onto us. And she's like, no, you rest, I'll handle this.
Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Alright, she doesn't know. Paimon doesn't remember Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, and the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. I'll skip the part about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata for now, and focus on the Balladeer. You tell Paimon what the Balladeer asked you, and what he might have been
He
planning.
wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible!
It's not easy, that's for sure.
You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Great example? I'm not sure.
So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Oh, Paimon's so confused.
Maybe he wants to erase himself from history.
Huh?
I mean, that won't stop the doctor from conducting his experiments because apparently Scaramouche got caught in the crossfire. It was not there for him, not originally. Simon, are you okay?
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... Oh. It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul?
Not necessarily, but maybe. I mean, I really don't know.
Uh-oh.
You can erase yourself from Irminsul, but again, is that the
trying to
test?
understand what he's up to, and it's still not working. Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Indeed, if the Balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, many people in Inazuma will be affected. I can't imagine what that situation would look like. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raiden Gokaden. Kazuha, Ayaka, Ayato. Will this mean that they'll disappear? What the... I mean, it's like
There's
that
nothing we can
age-old
do about
question,
it
like
at
if you
this
go
point.
back in time, can you erase
Hey,
yourself?
Have you got any ideas on what we should do next?
Just because it doesn't exist anymore, that doesn't necessarily mean the bloodlines will change, right?
Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight.
Me neither.
So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things?
That's a very
That
Paimon-like thing
doesn't
to do.
work. Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish.
I think my internet connection is
Munchkin
not
grilled fish.
doing
Oh,
too well.
and
I
chicken
think it's
mushroom
lagging.
skewers.
Can you guys
Tea break pancakes.
still
Cream stew.
see?
Sauteed matsutake.
I don't know. My ping isn't doing great.
And Dragon chili chicken. Almond tofu. Satisfying salad. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and
Wait, what's happening? Holy.
um
What?
What do we...
Not another time loop, please.
What
I mean, it
was
wasn't
Paimon
really a
supposed to be
time
doing
loop last
just
time.
now? Paimon was, talking?
Oh!
Huh.
It succeeded? Did he
Paimon
erase
suddenly
himself?
can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again?
You were getting so worried about the situation with the Balladeer that you started listing foods.
The
Oh, he
Balladeer?
succeeded! Oh no!
Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name though.
That means not even a he that remembers him. She's supposed to be fixing things, but she can't anymore. Yeah, exactly. Paimon doesn't remember the Balladeer. That must mean he actually pulled it off. But how did he have that ability? This doesn't make sense.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
Nah, it's everything, actually.
So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
Oh god. Ayaka, you still there? If this is really happening, I need to know what else has changed. Paimon, come with me.
Okay, sure. Where are we going?
I want to go back to Inazuma. What, like right now?
Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Now's not the time to explain. Okay, everyone. I need to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. See you soon.
Where I'm from, if we didn't keep moving, we'd freeze to death. Literally.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Actually, I don't think we'll be able to finish this quest today. I don't know how long it is. We'll do this segment of the quest next, but it is Christmas Eve and I do need to visit family in a little bit. So we'll see. I think I have, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes give or take. I hope this segment of the quest will not extend past that. I think that's a really big problem with Genshin actually. The quests are long and you can't really skip certain parts. Like if you stop midway through, you need to force the game to close. And then you have to retake everything. Honkai is worse though. There are some really long chapters there.
Ah, it's been a while.
Pardon me, I'd like to ask a question if I may.
Of course. Go ahead.
About the Raiden Gokaden. Could you tell me that story one more time?
Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokaden, comprised of 5 branches. Aminoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions.
Wait, I know you probably don't care, but could you condense it? Your Ryzen. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know it can be a little annoying to look at, but I haven't had the time to play because, yeah, it's exam season. I've been studying a lot. I do have 5 condensed Ryzens already, so I can't really condense anything right now. I'm so sorry. I know it's almost as bad as the red exclamation marks. I know that. But I can't really do anything about it right now. I'm so sorry. I do understand your pain though. Trust me, I do. I try not to look at it too much.
Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline.
You
And
can
for
see
a
it
long
if it's doing
time,
cutscenes.
only the
It's a little
Aminoma
relief.
branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokaden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when
Yeah,
he
let's
forged
not
the
look.
Ishin
Let's just
blade.
ignore it. I do need to start grinding again once the exams are over, especially because I'm gonna be pulling for Alhaitham in January, and I don't know what artifact set it is anymore. I don't know. Actually, I think maybe I'll try to pull for him live when the time comes. He's guaranteed, so. Wait, I didn't pay attention. Shit.
Oh, yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that now. We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokaden then, too.
I'm
It
sorry,
seems
please
like
hang in
such a
there, don't die.
shame.
What was the reason behind their decline?
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokaden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale.
Just get on with it, old man. We need to know.
The Raiden Gokaden, were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Oh, maybe we had to read through all of that text, because if we ask to read it again now, there will be no Kabukimono anymore. But I don't want to read it again. Oh god.
The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent up anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry.
I'm a little lost, actually. I don't know. Are we talking about the Amenoma family? Is it Kazuha's?
In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged to.
Yeah, the NPCs are
goal was
gone, but like,
absolute.
if you're talking about
The
new and
devastation
stuff, they were
of
supposedly
all of the
alive
Raiden
400 years ago. That's a long time. But I'm a little confused, honestly. And you haven't asked about Ayaka or anyone else yet. Please do so.
But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life.
Okay, so it's not Kazu's clan. Is it Tamenoma or one of the other, what, you? I'm so lost. I swear I'm so lost.
That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
The legend of the Raiden Gokuden has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmiths. But I wonder if it was still the doctor, because again, the balladeer Scaramouche was not his goal. He was just someone he found along the way, so what was he doing in Tatarasuna in the first place? Because the jester sent him there, so clearly there was some sort of plan in the making. It looks like the balladeer did something in Erminsul, but it seems Niwa still died.
Is there anything else you wanted to ask?
Yeah. There we go. I don't think the past changes, just people's recollections of it. Have you seen Kazuha recently?
Why, yes.
It's alive.
Just
it's alive.
yesterday, in fact.
I still need to
We spoke
pull
for a
him.
while over some tea.
I lost a
He
50-50 on
seemed
my
well.
last bet. I got a Chi-Chi at 85 pity. The pain. So it still exists, and it's the same Kazuha I know. Things don't seem as bad as I feared last night. That's all, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? You're expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Oh, I'm really short on time right now. Oh, I can't even play the rest. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had to complete the event. I don't know, how long do I have to complete it? 8 days. Yeah, that's not gonna happen today. I don't got the time. I think I may play through the event maybe off stream and then maybe complete this quest in the following day, maybe like on the 28th or something, so it's not on top of Christmas, but it's not on top of New Year's either. That way, I don't know, if anyone wants to refer back to the quest, they can just watch the stream and everything will be there, with me talking over it like the annoying little person I am. I guess that's it for today then. I'm really sorry, I didn't know this was going to happen. I had no idea. I thought like there were no prerequisites.
I wonder what the rest of the Harbingers are up to.
Did not even
Plotting
think about
and
it.
scheming on an ever grander scale, no doubt.
And when I next stream, I promise I'll burn my resin in the domains first and I'll condense it. I promise there will not be any capped resin. That was a great mistake on my end, I swear. I know, I'm sorry. Yeah, but I think that's gonna be it for today. There were a lot of people coming in and out, so I can't thank everyone at the same time, but thank you very much for your time,
ways to
for
seek out our
spending
enemies than,
these moments with me.
standing here.
And I wish you all, if you celebrated, a very Merry Christmas, and if you don't, well, I guess I wish you a very happy weekend. And I guess I will see you next time then. I will let you know when I next make a live stream. I will schedule it ahead of time. And I will be making a video essay about Tepe, hopefully soon. College is kicking my butt, but I'll try.
Where I'm from,
Thank you.
if we didn't
It
keep
was really
moving,
fun
we'd
having you
freeze to
here.
death. Literally.
I am a little bit stuttered a lot, but I'll try to get better over time. I would really like to get more into streaming in the future and just interact with you guys more. So, oh, someone's calling me. Wait. Yeah, I'm getting called by my mom. I guess this is my time to say goodbye then. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for all of your support. Merry Christmas once more and have a nice day. Bye!